Now, Katarina being banned once again, not going to allow it. I want to see it.
I've seen it before, and unfortunately, like, they baited out the Katarina pick. The enemy team just had like the perfect Katarina counter composition, like Blitzcrank galore. So, did not quite work out. And Zilean being banned once again from Team Dynamic, I gotta research that one. I'm actually gonna ask Atlanta, what's up with the Zilean ban?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious whether or not Captain America. I think he plays a lot of Zilean though, actually. And you know, if they have the Darius pick like they had last game, and then they run a Zilean always combos very well with Darius. I think I've heard, doesn't Judy Monica play Cat and Zilean? Those are his two main.
I mean, really quick looking at his stats, it looks like there's a lot of Annie, Janna, and Katarina, but I mean,
Zilean's kind of there, not really. 45%. That doesn't mean a lot. But I mean, if they are going for a snowball team with Darius, Zilean does pair well with Darius. You know, just to make him kind of unkillable.
We've seen that from Moscow 5 quite a bit, actually. Just like get someone like Jax, get someone who really needs to speed up, and just, you know, put a Zilean there, have him speed up. You will not stop him from getting to a teammate or an enemy mate.
Yeah, so we'll see what they go ahead and pick up. The Sona, so again, grabbing that Sona, you know, it gives them a lot of options, is very strong in that bottom lane. Dynamic going to go ahead with Blitzcrank, and then I'm trying to remember, what was the Evelyn last game? I don't think it's the same Evelyn. But
I believe Evelyn was the Darius pick for Troopers.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, so it was the other team. Yeah, so we'll see what that ends up being. Let's see. Who banned? You know,
it could easily be a troll, though.
Oh, that's it could very easily be a troll. I'm not sure, you know, do you know a lot of what Atlanta plays as jungle? Because I haven't seen him play jungle that much. I would assume he just plays kind of safe junglers right now.
That's my guess, too, just from the transition back from AD carry or top lane to jungle. He used to pretty much play anything back in the day.
Yeah.
I want to say I saw a lot of Maokai, I saw a decent amount of Shyvana. Like, he had quite a repertoire, but he has to, you know, get back in the groove of being a jungler. It takes some time to really switch roles. He can do it, but it'll take a few weeks.
Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and pick up the Shyvana. It worked out well from last game. He has that control jungler. It's just a safe pick. It's a nice, easy jungler. So we'll see what they go with. I would expect an Ezreal pick right here, since, you know, they clearly like that bottom lane. And then we'll see. I mean, they could go with the Annie again. It's just if they don't get off to the same start, it might be kind of difficult. So I don't know. They could decide to pick their jungler if they like. I'm not sure that we'll see the Pantheon again.
There it is.
Or we just might. I mean, Ezreal definitely makes sense to me. You know, hey, if they want to go Pantheon again, it worked well for them last game. I feel like it's kind of gimmicky, but, you know, if they're able to pick up kills, that's fine.
It is a tad bit gimmicky, and like they also had a 2-kill advantage early on in the game for pretty much nothing, like not even that many flashes. So, okay, they go for Lee Sin, a bit more reliable in terms of what he can do, a bit safer. Does have his own like mid to late game issues, but they're not relying on Pantheon ganks, which can easily go terribly. And maybe they're thinking, maybe they'll be onto us by now. Maybe we have to, you know, switch it up.
Yeah, so Lee Sin, definitely a strong pick. You know, we'll see how they kind of pick. I always think it's interesting, Lee Sin, how he works with combos, because a lot of times you can run an interesting team, like with Orianna. Lee Sin and Ezreal, they have a lot of single target bursts and a lot of survivability. So right now, their team has a lot of kiting potential. They're generally safe against AoE teams. Orianna being picked up for Paradoxical, you know, that would be a strong pick for Troopers right now if that's the champion that they played. So, you know, kind of preventing that. But Orianna does combo particularly well with Shyvana.
I mean, just it's kind of the same thing as Zilean, actually. Just that speed up is so effective. So I do like the Orianna pick. Paradoxicals has actually been specifically working on her just to get better with her. So Orianna really kind of slowly coming back into the meta after her buffs. Actually recently got buffed a little more, I believe, in the most recent patch. So she's looking good. She's looking scary, and Para can definitely play an effective Orianna at this point. He was actually criticized a while ago. He just didn't have that many characters he played. It was like Cassiopeia,
Morgana, he only played really aggressive. He would play Ahri, Morgana, and Cassiopeia were his 3 APs, basically. And he would only go those really aggressive, you know, burst APs.
And if it didn't work out, like you would just see him dial out. Sometimes he could pull out a Vladimir, but it wasn't that effective in the end, just because of how the mid games were chosen. Someone like Ahri was awesome against Vladimir. We do have Darius and Annie coming out, so the only difference in this team is going to be Pantheon versus Lee Sin if they do lock in these characters. And frankly, it worked. Lee Sin's going to be a bit safer, may not have as much payoff with his ganks, but and of course he doesn't have the ultimate to initiate the final fight. But it worked before. It should work again. The team composition, though, from Dynamic, completely different.
And if you think about it, Pantheon in the last game, he definitely did a really nice job. He was able to pick up kills, and he helped out the team. But a lot of the kills that they were getting, they would have gotten without Pantheon. And so Pantheon's kind of a risky pick. Might as well go with a safer pick that is going to do about as equally fine. They don't have that long-range fight initiation that Pantheon brought them. So that was definitely a nice opportunity. That mobility to counter out Shyvana a little bit if they're going for ganks. But knowing that Shyvana isn't really an aggressive ganker, knowing that he's mostly going to sit in the jungle, they don't need. I think a lot of what they had Pantheon for was in case Dynamic went with an aggressive ganking jungler, Pantheon would be able to ult over there and counter that out. So that's not needed. He can still shield in on Darius, so that combination works out very well. So, and he can also shield in on Tibbers, so that'll work out well as well.
Now, is Zig picking Lux or Nidalee or neither?
Oh, it has to be a Lux. Come on, Zig,
I guess
just
it's neither.
Pick the Lux. Yeah, it's going to be Nidalee. And Zion Spartan,
it makes sense.
I swear, Zion Spartan plays Nidalee 75% of the games that I see him. And he's the only person I know that plays Nidalee, with any sort of consistency. And he's so strong at it. He's honestly, I think by now, the best Nidalee in the game. Yeah, that's right. You heard it, Hotshot. Zion Spartan.
I mean, even X plays a lot of Nidalee himself, but
yeah, he does.
He's kind of let it go a bit lately. Like, he hasn't been as common with her. It makes sense just because, eventually you get scared. What if they figure out Nidalee? What if, she just isn't that effective? And really, what makes someone a good Nidalee player is partially, skill, but consistency. You have to play her a lot. You cannot, play someone else too much, or else you just lose your Nidalee habits because she is such a unique champion in how she actually works. So, excuse me for 1 second. I actually have to be right back.
No, that's fine. Those planes, they're coming in. They're coming in for studio. But, so Nidalee will be very strong in the top lane. It is probably, I would assume, an AD Nidalee. That's how Zion Spartan always plays it. He has played AP Nidalee a couple of times. But you see the movement speed, actually, along with all of the damage that he has, it'll allow him to, kite around Darius a little bit more, not have to worry about the harass as much. I'm kind of curious. I think that Nidalee's attack range and Darius's pull range are the same. I don't think I can look at that on this character sheet. I'll have to take a look at that outside, but I'll be able to see that in the game. But I believe they're the same. I believe they're both 550 attack range, and if that's the case, then Nidalee will have some nice advantages early in the game. Nidalee will be able to chase Darius down, just constantly get that harass. The heal will help keep Nidalee alive, so she doesn't have to necessarily worry about just getting low enough where Darius can combo her. But it's still going to be an issue where Nidalee. Maybe once she comes up for an attack, it'll open up an opportunity for Darius to just get the pullback, chase her down. And then, once Nidalee has the ultimate, Nidalee can hop out. So that'll definitely be a nice situation. But it's going to be a dangerous lane. Bot lane, Sona and Ezreal, again, is a very safe combo that has lots of burst damage. So they have a lot of options there. Was that you, Studio? Are you back?
I am back. And Sona and Ezreal versus Blitzcrank and Corki. The one scary thing about Sona is her poke is amazing, especially because they buffed the champion prioritization range on Sona's Hymn of Valor. So that Q spam, those blue lines are much more likely to hit champions. If you ever played Sona, by the way, and you felt like your Hymns of Valor weren't hitting when they should have, it's because they weren't hitting when they should have. So bottom lane can really get dominated just from Sona poke, but if Pixel lands one good grab on Sona, what does she have for an escape? She can flash, she can very slowly speed herself up, and there's not a lot she can do to get away.
Yeah, no, she would definitely go down. I was saying while you were away, I can't remember if Nidalee has the same attack range as Darius's pull. I think they're both 550.
525 for both, I think. You're right, they're both the same. I think Nidalee has a bit shorter range, though.
Okay, yeah, so Nidalee, has the harass advantage, and Darius can be vulnerable to harass, but, Darius can bait that in whenever Nidalee comes in for harass. There's always the threat of a pullback into a kill. So we'll have to see how that works. Orianna versus Annie is definitely an interesting lane because, I don't know, just Orianna easily outranges Annie. So Annie has the burst. We've seen that in the past, but Orianna has a much easier time in lane. We'll be able to just constantly poke Annie down and be able to kite her and then farm very easily.
It's actually a more extreme version of Annie versus Cassiopeia. Like Cassiopeia, kind of the same deal. She can poke a lot, but she has trouble. You can't avoid the Annie's shots. But of course, it's higher range. Orianna, same thing, but her ultimate, of course, is a higher range than Cassiopeia's. So Annie, if she does get one or two burst combos down, can eventually just blow up Paradoxical on Orianna. But at the same time, Orianna's going to have a much, much easier time actually getting pokes off with command attack into dissonance. Spread the ball around, make it unwind itself. Is that what dissonance does?
Dissonance is the W.
Like no, but like what's it do?
What does anything really do? What do you mean? It's an AoE.
No, like what's it actually supposed to be doing? Like it's just like what makes it so what makes it do the damage? Like what's like the action? Like Darius, he hits people with his axe for his ultimate.
Oh, I guess it's like
dissonance?
blades. It's like Highway to Hawaii or something. There's a I don't know if I'm sure a bunch of you guys know what I'm talking about. It's
Actually got that reference.
yeah, the guy who he throws the spinning blade saw of death frisbee.
Oh, like okay.
That's what Oriana's W is. It's a spinning blade saw of death, and you sit there and you're like, oh, let me catch the ball. We're playing a game of catch, and then the blades come out. And you're like, oh dear God, what's going on? My face is cut in half. That's what Oriana's W is.
Highway to Hawaii is possibly one of the best movies ever made. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
I'm having
I
flashbacks
honestly
to
I
the
haven't
clip
seen
of
it, but I've seen the footage.
clips.
Yeah, so that everyone's seen really. All right,
So,
I'm in the game. 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 12.
I'm actually a second ahead of you. Let me just. Okay.
Okay. Well,
I should
we
be at your level
okay.
now. That was weird.
All right, so we're good. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure we weren't like way off like last time. But here we go. Chuuper versus Team Dynamic. Lots of pings going off from Chuuper. They have an okay level 1 with Annie. They have lots of burst damage with Sona and Ezreal. They do have to worry about the hook, and the fact that TD, they have the vision advantage with both Paradoxical and Zig. But if Chuuper can catch someone out of position, they can just instantly burst them down. So as a result, Dynamic won't want to be aggressive, just because if they walk into the wrong bush, it's over.
I mean, it would be the exact same thing as last
Right.
time. Any stun would just obliterate them, and they don't want it to happen again. Like, they know the possibility. I do like Troopers trying to pull it off again, because it's the same deal. They walk into the wrong bush, they're also dead. But it's just very weird, the level 1 team fights. It can go so many different ways, and in the end, what really matters is just getting that damage off, and both teams are amazing at that right now.
Yeah, and Zion Spartan right now trapping all over the place, taking control over that top lane. Then he's actually coming down, peeking by the blue to see if he can get a vision idea of where they're going. Shyvana will be able to start with the blue, but a little trap, so they'll be able to keep an eye on Lee Sin. That'll definitely be nice. I don't know, I'm kind of curious to see how Captain or Judy Monica can pick up kills in the mid lane, because Annie, you want to snowball quickly. Annie has the damage to pick up quick kills. Tibbers is just absolutely nasty, but Paradoxical, as long as he plays it right, should generally speaking be able to keep range and then outfarm Annie just by pushing him into the tower and also taking those wraiths.
Every time Annie takes a step back, we should see Paradoxical take a step forward. Paradoxical should take a step back. Like, there should never be a situation where Annie is closing the distance just because dissonance will speed up Paradoxical. There needs to be a flash used. And if Paradoxical can survive in between flashes, that will be his big savior. That will be the, we can actually win this game, win this lane, snowball like crazy. If not, if every flash ends up with a kill, that's going to be a big deal. But luckily, Annie does have more protection, or Oriana has more protection against Annie than Cassiopeia would.
Yeah, and actually, Zion Spartan starting off with the mana potion, so 3 health pots and the mana potion, because he wants to be able to just constantly spam that heal and stay in lane a little bit longer. Captain America going down very quickly to that harass, so really nice job by him, recognizing he needed the cloth armor, he needed the health pots, but one single Q, and all of a sudden, Zion Spartan takes a huge chunk. So we'll see how that lane works, but Captain America recognizing the harass potential, playing it safe.
And just the fact that Decimate does so much damage at this point, and it's just the high range, but we do actually have Deadlanta coming in for this gank. The exhaust goes down, the flash is out. Will this be enough to get Captain America away? Most likely not. There's a red buff too. Zion Spartan trying to get him low. He's almost dead. The red buff will be enough, and actually goes down to an Italy auto attack at the very end.
Yeah, so really nice job. Zion Spartan able to pick that up. Atlanta, the crushing, jungler that he is. I was trying to think of like something really epic to go along with that, but yeah, just Atlanta doing his job, doing a really nice job, in fact. But now that Nidalee is ahead, Nidalee can just continue to abuse Darius, and that's going to be an issue. Darius can be very vulnerable to harass early in the game, and he snowballs particularly well, but he is very vulnerable to that harass because he doesn't have a huge gap closer usually. So we'll see whether that's the case. I'm kind of curious how Zion Spartan is going to build in order to keep up that harass, but maybe keep a little bit of survivability against Darius. If he might go like a Wit's End or something for some MR.
We actually have Zion Spartan just camping in that top bush. Lee Sin does land his Q onto him. Gets a slow off, but Zion Spartan's just going to be able to walk away. This won't be a finisher, just some good damage. But unfortunately, Darius, he's still far behind. Zion Spartan can go heal right now and actually get the lane very quickly just because Nidalee's really fast.
But
So
it does open up an opportunity for Captain America to get back into this lane. He's almost a level behind. He's actually going to hit level 4 shortly, but the lane is on his side. He will be safe right now. Lee Sin forcing him back. So we'll see how he can catch up. He does have 6 health pots. So just running cloth armor and 6 health pots, that's just how much harass he's expecting to take. He just wants to constantly be spamming them in order to stay in lane.
And of course, Atlanta's exhaust is going to be down for about another 90 seconds. Maybe a little bit more than that, actually. So that's when he's expecting Atlanta to show up after that time period passes. So he just wants to survive Nidalee right now. It makes sense Atlanta can try and punish him for it, but most likely won't. And we do have Lee Sin in the top lane. He needs to avoid those traps, though. If he gets spotted, there goes the ganks.
Yeah, so Captain America.
There goes the gank.
Yeah, there it goes. Trying to clear it out, so maybe he can get some vision in a second. In the meantime, Mr. Fisher doing a really nice job in the bottom lane, keeping vision of the bush, because they recognize that they can harass down Blitzcrank or die to him, just depending on how the situation is. Shyvana is making his way down top, though. The hook on Zion Spartan, he is very low. They're actually diving this. Lee Sin jumping underneath the tower, but he has just enough health. Captain America going down. Most of that is tower hits, and now Zion Spartan can continue to take an advantage in this top lane and then hit level 6, really, when Darius is almost only like level 5 or 4 even.
This is almost the end of top lane. Like, there's very little that they can do to recover against that, because Nidalee, once she hits 6, we'll just dive on Darius, and Lisa may not even be able to kill her. Bot lane, Chuuper is taking a lot of damage from Pixel punching him in the face, which is a great offensive strategy. Punch enemies in the face when you can. This bot lane seems to be going decently for both teams. We do have a bit of a slight CS advantage for Ezreal right now, but Chuuper not too far ahead of Zig in the end.
Yeah, just able to push him up into the tower, but they do have to worry about that kill potential from Pixel. And if they fall behind in that lane, then it's going to be kind of a scary prospect. If Blitzcrank can get a lead, where maybe they can zone them out of the lane, they can force the long lane. Zion Spartan, level 5, have off actually like 2 minions off of level 6. Darius just hit level 5, so a level ahead, trying to get the hook, but Zion Spartan baiting it out. Very low on mana, but now at level 6, like you said, once he goes back, buys some damage, he can just dive right onto Captain America, win the damage exchange, and then just go back and heal, and then just constantly get in that free harass.
Top lane, Captain America trying to do as much as he can, but like you just mentioned, here comes a heal. That harass was essentially free, and you can always go back and buy and just get back to lane really quickly, because you just constantly lead towards your lane.
Oh, wow. And Atlanta just being completely rude. Coming into the top lane once again. The ward will catch him out, but it forces Darius back. He has to play defensively just because of the constant pressure that he's putting up top. So Atlanta able to continually do it, but actually the hook back on the Mr. Fissures. Zig coming out, but not quite able to pick up the kill. Chuuper trying to pick it up. Pixel flashing after him, able to grab that kill. So it does turn out on top for Dynamic. In the meantime, Darius actually out in the open, trying to chase down either Shyvana or Nidalee. Backs off. Will continue back to lane.
So many retreat pings as a Darius walked towards that top lane. I have no idea who it was from, but neither team confident to go into a fight. Of course, Annie, you can never feel confident to survive a burst till you have a big chunk of HP, which no one has at this point.
And Zion Spartan actually chasing down Captain America. Atlanta is on his side, so he recognizes he can get off some damage for free, and then have Atlanta for the follow-up. He is kind of low on mana, but he has that mana potion, so he will be okay. He can kind of stay in that lane. But actually, Darius not getting the hook, the quick dash out from Zion Spartan. I thought he was going to have it, and that would have been an ultimate for a kill. So what are your kind of thoughts? Where is Zion Spartan going to go with his item builds to continue up the pressure against Darius? He has about 1,000 gold right now. Once he can get an opportunity to go back.
I think I'm actually like a second behind you for some reason. But,
757, 758, 759.
Okay, I guess we're even. It's not because I can. Never mind. But with the item build, it looks like Zion might just go for traditional just Zeal and Triforce. The Zeal will just be for the move speed. If you can stay more mobile than Darius, he should be able to survive just about anything, just because the hook to get away and the lack of really any hard CC to keep Zion in place is going to be a big deal.
Oh, but in the meantime, Darius trying to dive this. Zion Spartan almost going down, but gets the flash out. No ultimate from Darius. Atlanta with the follow-up. Really nice play focusing on that top lane. Now, Blitzcrank, he's actually kind of out of position. Lee Sin will be going in for this blue. They have to watch out, though. If Pixel gets caught out of position, Mr. Fissure chasing him away, so they will be able to steal Orianna's blue.
Blitzcar doesn't actually care about anything, though. Gonna go ahead, go to the blue buff, scout it out. He sees it go down. They have the time. Pixel now actually in legitimate danger. Junior Monica shows up, but he just, he Blitzcars away. He's Blitzcar. He doesn't care.
Oh, wow, and they're just going straight in for the dragon. So they have the presence from Judy Monica. She can control the fights, very effectively. Nick Wu just going to be tanking that. And so they pick up the dragon pretty quickly. No pressure from Dynamic. And that's huge. I mean, they're 2K down. Now they're only like 1K down. They have a couple of opportunities. The hook from Blitzcrank onto Sona, though, she dies almost instantly. Does go down. Pixel, or Chuuper actually trying to pick up the kill onto Zig. He is very low, but Pixel blocking. Oh, really nice job picking it up with the Essence Flux.
Pixel actually going around trying to get another hook off, but it's got such a long cooldown, be up in about 3 seconds. The creeps do show up. Chuuper does make it out of there, though.
And Captain America actually doing pretty well in this lane, considering the early advantages for Zion Spartan. So, he is playing kind of safely. He is getting harassed down. He's getting pretty low, but still waiting. And if he can ever catch Zion Spartan out of position, he can maybe pick up that kill. It might be difficult, though, without the Ignite. It's just he might not have enough damage against that heal and against that Cougar form.
And what actually Zion Spartan's going to be waiting for is if he ever misses an Apprehend on Darius, he can just go ahead, auto-attack, get the Phage proc, and just chase down Captain America when that happens. So he's going to keep poking. He's just going to poke non-stop, waiting for a Phage proc, at which point he will just be able to really just kind of not kill him, but just chunk him so low.
Yeah, and you see there getting down to half the pullback, but Zion Spartan just perfectly fine, can continue to control that lane. And it's really the patience that you're seeing from Zion Spartan. He's comfortable with just sitting back and just slowly winning the lane. He's not risking anything. He's not, diving after Darius. He's not going, oh, wow, half health Darius, let me try and get a kill. He's comfortable with just sitting back, getting his health advantage, getting that regen advantage.
And that is a sign of good Nidalee, just because she's never going to be that high of a burster. Even AP Nidalee, you don't really have that much follow-up if you do land a great spear. But he's going to rely on just, his own aptitude, just be like, I think I can do this now. And even then, it's going to be extra cautious. And the bot lane, the grab misses. They're still going to go on Mr. Fissures, though. Pixel just kind of in there. Once again, Blitzcrank just doesn't care about anything, which makes him the best champion ever.
Yeah, but he keeps on pulling Zig into situations where he's losing to Chuuper. And Ezreal, I mean, just the constant harass from the Essence Flux is easily winning that matchup.
The one thing that is that CS is totally even down there, but Zig, unfortunately, if Blitzcrank doesn't care, just pull someone in, you gotta fight him. Just, it's the rule. You gotta fight anybody Blitzcrank pulls in.
Oh, but the Sona ultimate turning it around. Zig almost going down, but the hook back, it hits a minion. Judy Monica was here as well. They weren't able to get the follow-up. Paradoxical in the meantime in the mid lane. Darius coming down for a second will back off, but I don't know if I'm kind of surprised they couldn't get that Annie ult, but even so, Paradoxical and Pixel and Zig, they will be fine in the bottom lane.
And Paradoxical in the mid lane actually getting pressured right now by Judy Monica. Delanta is here though. The ball does miss, and it looks like he will be able to just walk out of there.
Yeah, and he has the range poke. He can get out of there. I'm surprised he's allowing Judy Monica to get quite so close, but the ult is down. Annie's ult is up, so they have it. The flash ultimate in. Captain America is here as well. The hook back, the dunk.
USA!
I'm fine with that all game, by the way, if you just want to just shout that out all the time. That's perfectly
never
fine.
Stop. Even if he dies, Captain America can die, just USA.
Well, but, I mean, then I don't know if you're being facetious or not. And that wouldn't be good because America is America.
America's good enough where we can just chant it all game. Would not matter. And, shout out to Canada, too.
Yeah, all you guys from Canada, definitely. Captain America doing a nice job in the top lane. He's actually doing a really nice job of farming despite the advantages that Zion Spartan has. And it's really not that much of a CS advantage other than the 2 kills that he has the 3 deaths that Darius has. In the meantime, bot lane is extremely low. Sona, the ultimate is down, so they don't really have to worry about them diving it, but it's still kind of a concern. They have to play very cautiously and continue to farm, though they've done a pretty nice job of keeping up with Ezreal for the most part.
Deadlanta does have oracles now, heads to the top lane, going to see if he can set up a good gank or a dive. Fortunately, we do know that Darius is... Actually, he didn't go back to his turret. I thought he did, but he's actually not in a good spot now. If Deadlanta starts off a dive, there's a good chance he won't be able to finish him off. Does not have enough mana for his ultimate.
Yes, he will have to back off. Paradoxical, though, the ultimate on Judy Monica, not able to hit the W, but another Q with the Ignite is able to get it. Yes, so picks up the kill. Captain America does have to go back. So, yeah, again, low on mana, just has to constantly spam to farm. Shyvana actually walking around the side, trying to check out, gets the vision of the blue, will be warding it. So, we'll have control there when it's up around, I guess 14:30 would be around the blue time.
I think so. I'm actually not positive on that one.
Yeah. But we'll see. In the meantime, Nidalee able to control the top lane. Top tower getting very low. He's just going to allow all of that CS to be denied at the turret and then just continue to push this wave. And I don't know, the split push Nidalee is always really nice if you can get any early advantages. It can just pressure you all game.
He does get pulled in, should be able to like walk away from this, so that's just the advantage Nidalee has with her mobility. Just from pretty much all of her skills, a 465 movement speed right there, just from being in the brush. So if you do not have some of the best slows in the game, and even then, it's usually not going to be enough to stop Nidalee. Actually, his back gets interrupted by the dot tick from the bleeding that Darius provides.
Yeah, and he is going with that tanky Triforce build. Like you had talked about earlier. So he has that constant harass with the Phage procs. He's able to just control the lane. And once he gets the Zeal a little bit later, he will have even more mobility. Though right now it seems like he has plenty to deal with Darius. So we'll see. It is a 2K gold advantage for Dynamic. Definitely a turnaround from last game. But at any point in time, there's that threat that either Darius or Annie could just explode the game. So that's a serious concern. If Dynamic, though, if they can keep up this pressure, if they can keep Darius from snowballing, then they have the CC where they can kite him in fights. And if you can kite Darius, then all of a sudden, because he doesn't have a true gap closer, he can really struggle in a lot of situations.
Like, the best way to imagine Darius is if you can kite him, or you are Indiana Jones, he's a boulder, you get away. If you cannot kite him, you are a overweight, obese Indiana Jones trying to run away from the boulder.
Wait, what?
Never mind. We do have Dragon being taken, though, by Chuuper's Troopers. They're only 1,000 gold behind. And they actually pull in Pixel. Yeah,
Pixel is very low. The Annie ultimate actually missing, but it is zoning Orianna for a little bit here. Lee Sin jumping into Pixel isn't quite enough, but Darius can follow it up. And now Zion Spartan in the middle of the team does go down very quickly. The double kill. Can they get the hook back on the Paradoxical? Captain America, 3 seconds left. 2 seconds, so he's going to be fine. Atlanta, though, is stuck on the other side of the team. But Orianna able to pick up the kill onto Nick Wu. Mr. Fissure is low as well. Zig can start coming up. And the Shyvana ultimate turning it around. Corki has the damage. Captain America will go down, and they can turn it around. Really nice play from Dynamic, biding their time, and then able to grab the kills in the end.
USA.
Yeah.
I mean, a great fight. I love the poke coming out from Corki. Just the whittling down process. We saw this from Orianna actually already in the prior match, where just at the end of a long fight, Orianna is devastating and can just poke people down. Her ball just does immense damage. It's what we saw actually a year ago when Orianna originally got nerfed, though she has of course dramatically changed since then. But I mean, if Paradoxical keeps up that pressure, if he just survives a team fight, he can almost 1v5. Not necessarily guarantee it, but with any sort of backup, the fight will easily swing in his team's favor, just because the ultimates are down, but his damage is still amazingly high and amazingly safe.
Yeah, so we'll see how they can transition out of this. The Chalice on Orianna, I really love this build, and I've seen it a couple of times from a couple of different people, just because you have so much spamming that you want to do with Orianna. So it definitely works. You get the cooldown reduction later with the Unholy Grail. The hook back from Captain America actually chasing down Zion Spartan a little bit, but Zion Spartan diving back into him. The ultimate is up for Darius, so he doesn't want to get too low. Nick Wu with the follow-up trying to get in there, but Zion Spartan able to back off. Will be okay. Just pushing it right to the edge and then just bringing it back a little bit. Just, calm down, bring it back a little bit.
That's kind of what you gotta do as Nidalee. It's like, you know what, take it to the edge, heal up, relax, calm down. It's like, all right, we can now fight again, but I'm full HP. You've lost a lot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that was just, oh, what a shame. I feel awful. Just absolutely terrible.
I'm still gonna fight you though, but like, I can't stop, but I'll feel bad about it. Actually, Zig takes a lot of damage from the turret, down to a quarter HP. They're gonna have to retreat, and they do not have any sustain down there. Zig, I mean, the turret likes you. He's shooting, his laser-guided affection, but you can't really take it. I'm sorry, Zig.
Yeah, and Zion Spartan almost done with that turret. He'll be able to take it down the next wave. So 2 turrets down shortly for Team Dynamic. Paradoxical getting some harass on Judy Monica. Unfortunately, Lee Sin is behind him. The ult from Judy Monica almost able to pick up the kill, but Paradoxical, can he get out of there? The kick from Lee Sin. Can he get the flash over? Barely escaping. The shield, though, and the flash from Nick Wu. Able to turn it around. I didn't think he quite had the range. Shyvana in the bottom lane. The Sona ult turning it around. And actually, Zig very close to going going down. They have Nick Wu coming down from the river, so they have to watch out for that because they could turn it around. The hook from Pixel, but Mr. Fisher is not dying, and Nick Wu trying to get Zig, but can't quite grab him. Zion Spartan in the meantime killing Judy Monica actually, but Nick Wu is still in pursuit of Atlanta. He has great movement speed. The Q should be enough to grab it with the slow. One more attack, picks up that kill. Zion Spartan is here still though. Can he pick it up? Yes, grabs it, gets that red buff.
Muay Thai Lee Sin when he's slowed looks really funny, by the way, because it's like he's hopping around in place. Mr. Fisher's caught out of place. He needs to survive this, but really cannot. Just no escape persona at that point, especially with a Blitzcrank and Corky nearby, ready to finish you off. Oh,
but Captain America with the hook back onto Zion Spartan. He has Chuuper in his side. Zig is actually here as well, but Chuuper going down very quickly with Zion Spartan and Zig. The bomb actually missing. Captain America is pretty low. Zion Spartan has to get out of there, but could he chain this? Not quite able to grab it. The ultimate, it doesn't pick up. That almost might have been a triple kill.
Canada! Canada!
Oh, Canada. Yeah, and that Zion Spartan with the mobility, that's the big thing that you see a lot of times with Nidalee later on. And directly in team fights, Nidalee's not the strongest champion. Nidalee, you know, I don't know, doesn't really bring a lot to the table. But the mobility after team fights, picking up extra kills, and in between fights and, you know, in small skirmishes is just fantastic. So Zion Spartan, 5-1-3 right now, really taking advantage of that, able to pick up you know, a kill on, I think it was Judy Monica on his way over there, so Andy wasn't even part of the fight as a result.
It really was just kind of like a broom effect, where Zion Spartan shows up at the very end, just kind of cleans everybody up. Judy Monica goes down, having barely finished off Paradoxical in the end with Lee Sin's help, and it's just, that is the effect that you can have as Nidalee, just such a good 1v1 character, just great in those skirmishes, like you said, and if you do not control it, if you do not get into a big team fight, she will just be able to take control if she's at all in a good position, which, if we've seen Zion Spartan this game, you know, 5 kills, 3 assists, he is devastating. And actually, Captain America might be able to try and catch him, but she should be able to hop away from this. There is just not enough chase. Yeah, and they pinged him out. They suspected that he might have been going for that blue, but they just couldn't do anything about it. A full heal, and then actually turning right onto Captain America again with that red buff harass, taking him down. Even if they do show up, like, there's a good chance they cannot catch him, just because Nidalee is just one of the hardest characters in the game to catch. Only Lee Sin has the good gap closer for her, really. And Paradox will just kind of, you know, speeds away from that lane. That is the advantage Orianna has. With her massive speed boost, she's actually incredibly safe in gank situations.
Yeah, and now actually Dynamic setting up by that dragon so they can pick that up when it spawns. In the meantime, Nidalee just continuing to split push the top lane, putting the pressure there, so it throws Darius behind. You know, he's doing decently for himself right now, but you know, he's just forced to sit up there. He can't be part of these fights. They can win those smaller fights, and then when Zion Spartan decides to engage, he can pick up those kills. Captain America going down very quickly, gets the flash, actually the dunk as well. Zion Spartan going the wrong way though, but barely able to grab the heal. Did he de-aggro when you flash? I didn't realize you de-aggro when you flash. That's something I should know.
I think he flashed at the very edge of tower range, like the very tip-top edge, and I mean, he gets out of that gank. There is no chase potential. That is just the high move speed from Nidalee and her distance closing abilities. We do have the Baron coming out from Team Dynamic. I mean, I don't expect this.
I'll be honest. I was confused for a second, but that's really impressive. You know, he just knew exactly the range. I thought he was killing himself by going the wrong way out of the tower. I didn't realize he'd cleared yet.
I actually thought he was still in range too, but apparently wasn't. Or there was some weird bug where he's somehow destroying with flash, which I have not seen happen before.
Right. Yeah. So they are able to grab that Baron. They will be able to back off, and so not only can Nidalee, not only can Zion Spartan just crush whoever's in the top lane, the Orion ultimate not able to grab Annie. Not only can he crush whoever's top lane, but it also, he has the potential, if he decides to fight in another lane, if his team is going to engage somewhere, he can pressure Darius to stick top, and then he has the mobility to just get there a lot faster, so he can just chase out. Darius trying to get the pull, isn't quite able to stop the teleport, so he will be back. And I don't know, we'll see what he's buying. Going with some really nasty damage, gets the BF sword, going to be going for a brutalizer, I guess, after that. That's just, I don't know, a terrifying prospect for Darius.
It makes sense, because if he does go for that tanky bolt again, it's not going to be any fight he can win. It'll be just a really long, slow, sustained burn onto him, but he will die in the end. So he goes for the damage, but unfortunately, just with the position he's in, even if he does apprehend Nidalee, she can get away. And if she doesn't get away, she can just kill him. Like, her damage is too high at this point. She's too far ahead with her own BF sword. She actually almost has a Bloodthirster, and at that point, like just her auto attack damage it's going to be massive. 231 right now versus Darius's 169, and that's going to be the brunt of her damage, especially when it's enhanced by her auto attack speed buff from her heal.
Yeah, and the mobility from Dynamic's team is great. Judy Monica's here with the ultimate. They will have to watch out. Captain America getting the hook back to Zion Spartan, but already below half health to that harass. And the really nice thing about Dynamic's team is their mobility. Shyvana is highly mobile. Orianna as well, Nidalee, Corki, all of them can get out of fights. They can disengage very easily. Chuuper chasing out after Zig for a little bit, but he's going to be okay. Zion Spartan takes another turret. I don't know how, what are your thoughts on how Chuuper can just try and force a fight? Well, there you go. Blitzcrank just making the decision for them. Actually going down very quickly as Annie is able to get off that ultimate, is able to back off. Shyvana underneath the turret. Sona actually, or Paradoxical, able to pick up that kill. Lee Sin will go down. I'm sorry, who goes down? Paradoxical does go down, so they will have to back off.
So it's not that they have to force a fight, it's just they have to wait for the fight to come to them.
Yeah.
Zion Spartan just poking them under the turret, though. He can actually kill this turret as long as he doesn't get apprehended, and should be able to get away.
Yeah, so he is going down pretty quickly. Nick Wu has to back out of there, though. He can retreat. Captain America just doesn't have the gap closers, and there's the issue. He just doesn't have enough sticking power against Nidalee.
And Nidalee actually scaring away Nick Wu one more time just by rotating back towards that lane. They can't stay in range. They can't just do it. And it's too strong. It's too hard for them to deal with right now. Once Nidalee gets out of control, you have to force something. But unfortunately, if you look at the lanes, Zion Spartan just pushes top. And Captain America can't hold it, but he can't leave it either.
Yeah, actually, he has no damage.
If Rock, he's going to low, does go up. They're going to burst him down. Okay, wait for Zion Spartan to get over aggressive, and then you can go ahead, kill him, and do something.
Yeah, so really nice job with the follow-up there. But you see, Darius just doesn't have enough damage on his own. He needs the team to help him snowball and help him burst people down. That's the benefit of Annie, is that Annie can, kill anyone almost at any point in the game. She has the Deathfire's Grasp, buying the blue pot as well to be able to control the fights. But we'll see. It is still an 11k advantage for Dynamic. They'll be able to just continue to pressure them. And, yeah, so they still have the Baron. It's down in a second, so another, 2 minutes until the next Baron respawn.
And something that we actually did not catch was a red buff was stolen by Ezreal. Actually, Nick Wu
almost going down. Shyvana with the ultimate, trying to take him down. And actually, Corki chasing after Annie is able to pick up that kill. The Sona ultimate trying to get him out of there. But Zig with the Valkyrie chasing after them. And actually, they have a great position here. They're 5v2, trying to chase down Captain America. They have him zoned. Captain America will duel with Zig a little bit, but they have the damage to take him down. But then they can back off. They can pressure this mid turret. Paradoxical a little bit out of position, but with the zoning capabilities, throws off the ultimate on Captain America. The Ignite actually just not going off, just trying to get him low enough. And there's the kill, but going down himself. Chuuper's able to pick it up. Zig, can you get the kills? Blitz actually trying to chase down Ezreal. Zion Spartan grabs that, and they'll be able to grab this inhibitor. They actually have enough time. They should be able to grab, they could potentially grab the Nexus, but they do have to watch out because Annie is up and does have Tibbers up.
I mean, they have one turret down guaranteed. They have to be cautious about this, but if they can get the win now, it'll be a win. I do like the idea to play safe. They are going to back up here. There is no reason for them to take too big of a risk because, they're 15,000 gold ahead. Why fight like they're closer? So just wait for the advantage. They can go in, take Bear when it respawns. They actually haven't left yet.
Yeah, so they get the Nexus turret. Judy Monica going down very quickly. The hook back on Zig, though, and actually he's knocked back into the fountain, so they're able to grab that kill. But still, they have the Nexus turret. That's, just absolutely huge. They can push back their next time they're up. Pixel's still alive, just slowly ticking away. And actually, the flash in from Captain America, the hook back on Atlanta. He has enough movement speed to get out. The ultimate as well. He's able to clear the distance, so he gets out of there. Another ward from Lee Sin trying to get vision, and Zion Spartan should be okay to get out as well.
Actually, Zion Spartan almost able to 1v1 Chuuper during all of this. He is slow. He is apprehended. They're going to try and burst him down. He is trying to leap away. He does have that mobility, but at the same time, the entire enemy team is there. Nidalee might just make it out of this.
Yeah, so he has the mobility. He can just kind of toy with them. Hey, just go ahead and turn back into Nick Wu. Chase him down. You have the red buff. No big deal. So they will be fine there. Paradoxical coming into it now. Nick Wu kicking the dragon. We'll have that clearance. But in the meantime, a massive push down mid. And it's going to be a struggle. Once Dynamic decides to push down the mid once again, they'll be able to take it. But Chuuper going down to the Nidalee burst. Sono with the ultimate. But Zion Spartan still in pursuit. He has the Paradoxical Orb, so he can get the speed up, but has to back off. Sees Annie.
Right now, they don't have their AD carry. The rest of Team Dynamic is up. They can just go for the Baron or actually just the blue buff, where it looks like they're going to all be coinciding. But, I mean, Nipu once again cut out. He has to get out of there, just gets blown up. Like, there's not much they can really do on Troopers right now. They can push the Nexus with impunity.
Yeah, it's a 5v2 or 5v3 situation. Paradoxical gets the ult on Judy Monica, almost picking up the kill. The Deathfire's Grasp, the hook back into the Zonias from Paradoxical. Beautiful job there, almost going down, but the rest of the team has his back. So Dynamic will be able to win this game, sending it to game 3 actually. So 1-1, Troopers not able to make the comp work this time. You know, I don't want to say that Pantheon was, you know, the magic touch. All I'm saying is without the Pantheon, they weren't able to win the game. That's all I'm going to say. But Zion Spartan, really fantastic play as Nidalee the entire game.
And this was like lanes being better designed. They had a lane for Annie. Orianna does very well against her. They had a lane aimed at Darius, Nidalee. Like, their lanes were much more planned out. Bot lane wasn't like the guaranteed kill lane. Like, it's not a hard counter, but, you know, was still effective. So overall, their lanes were just better. And that's what made their pick so much stronger. They just did not lose before teamfights got relevant, before Darius got out of hand. It just did not happen.
Yeah, and I'm actually just curious for a second. Damage dealt by Nidalee, if I can take a look at it. Oh, it's scrolled over. So there we go. Damage dealt by Nidalee, 141,000. Actually, their whole team was really high. Corky up there as well. Damage dealt by Darius, 87,000. So twice as much damage from Nidalee. Yes, he's constantly auto-attacking the minions, and that's where almost all of it comes from. It's just a funny thing to look at. But still, really nice job. The farm advantage just phenomenal for Dynamic. You know, 3 members into you know, the 10K kind of range versus Troopers. We'll see. We will be back shortly, guys. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be able to check them out and see who's able to take game number 3. Troopers versus Dynamic with Studio with me. Thank you again. Commercial break. We'll be right back.